Hello, uh, welcome to the code explanation series, and today are going to explain one more contract, and this particular contract is related to UniSwap token. So let's get started. Yeah. So here we have the contract, the UniSwap v3 factory.sol, and this contract is going to be explained in today's video. So the code, it starts with the SPDX license version. Here we have used bus L101, and that this particular license is used to deploy our contract. And then we have the Solidity Progma version, and right now the Solidity Progma version states that it uses any a version which is equal to 0.7.6, and we can make it to any as well. So if we wanted to make it any, so now it become any version which is greater than 0.7.6. So this is the one. Then the contract itself import a interface of uniswap swap v3 factory.sol. So this particular contract will contain all the external functions, all the functions which are defined into this contract, and some of the events are also there, so which includes while deploying a new pool and handling the fees transactions and so on. Like those kind of transactions can be handled by this particular interface. And then we have a interface. We have also imported one Uniswap pool deployer. This particular contract will help us to deploy the contract. Then we have also imported the no delegates call, which will provide the functionality for preventing any particular function from being executed unless explicitly authorized by its owner. So next we have this Uniswap v3 pool. So like this is also imported, and this contract is imported in order to have all the mapping, all the unclaimed owner's address or unclaimed balance, or any particular objects which are situated in this particular contract. We can call them from this contract. So now that the contract starts from this particular line, and the name of the contract is Uniswap v3 factory, and this particular contract is inheriting from whatever contract we have called, which is Uniswap, then Uniswap pool deployer, then no delegate calls. So the functionalities of these contracts will be utilized in this particular contract. So the contract starts with uh, s- uh, first of all defining the override functions of the owner, which will allow us to override the owner. So each and every time whenever the contract is deployed, the owner will be changed for this particular contract. Then we are mapping the tick space values. So whatever the fees which is situated with tick space value, we are mapping those values with here in this tick space amount. Then we have one more map which is address to uint 24 to address mapping, which will get us the pool. This contract will mostly contain three main functions. So the very first function will be which we will be having is init function. So right now, yeah, those functions will be called from the external object. So it will have a init function. The init functions will be used for initializing the contract with the initial number of the tokens and configuration to the fees rate for each delegate configuration. Or then the next function we have is yeah, so next function which we will having is a create pool function. So what the create pool function will do here, what the create pool function will do, the create pool function will take owner's address and then fee rate, and it will create a new Uniswap pool with a specified owner address and the fees rate. And then we will be having one more main function, which is a destroy pool. So the destroy pool will take the address of the pool and it will destroy and send back all the funds associated with that particular function, so or that particular honor. And then the funds which are associated with particular pool will be sent it back to the original owner of the contract. Now we have get pool mapping as well. Yeah, this mapping has been actually explained. Now we have a constructor. Now the constructor here will define the initial values of few of the parameters, and it will emit some of the events which are defined in Uniswap v3 pool deployer, or in interface of Uniswap v3 factory. So these are first of all honor. So the honor will become the message dot sender. So whoever is the deployer of the contract will become honor. Then if we wanted to change the honor, it can sorry. So it will emit the event to change the honor from 0th address to the deployer of the contract. Then we have fee, which is initially ticked as 10. Then it will emit this particular event, and which will send the 500 to 10 emit. Then we have fee amount tick spacing 300 to 60, and then it will set it to this one. Then same, we have these functions. So these functions, these events will be called once like these pools has been setted. Now as we are aware, or like I just told you, that it will take, the contract will start by creating a pool. So the creating a pool will take three parameters: token A, token B, and the fee associated with it. So the code it will create a new v3 contract, and initially the value are taken as like this, and it will check whether and it is a override function, so it will override the create pool contract, and it will check the delegate call, and then once everything has been changed, that performed, then it will return a address of pool type, pool of address type. So and it requires that token A should not be equal to token B, which means both the tokens should have different value. This is the first check which it will hold. So in the very first line, that address of token 0 and that address of token 1 will be fed, and check whether the token A address is 0 or lesser than the B or not. If it is lesser, then it will send the values to token A to B, or else it will send the value to token A to B, or vice versa, you can say. Then it will check whether the token 0 is not equal to 0th address, and then int it will now check that tick spacing, and the tick spacing should be equal to the fees of the amount tick spacing, and whatever the fees associated with it. Then in the next line, it will check whether the tick spacing fees is not equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, then the next line will be executed, which will check the get pool tokens address, tokens address to token 1 address, and then fees associated to it. And if it is equal to 0th address, then it will move forward. Then it will set the pool and deploy the contract of like caller of the contract to 0th address, and then it will take like these very parameters: fee, token, and tick spacing. So once like it is executed, then it will set the get pool to the pool whatever is set it in the previous call. So once it has been setted for token 0, now it will set to token 1. Now at last it will emit the event, which is pool created event. So once the pool is created, then it will emit this particular pool. So now the next function we have is set honor. The set honor will take owner's address, and it will override it is a externally callable function, and it will override what and it requires the function starts from where it requires that the whoever is the caller of the contract should be equal to the owner. So if he is equal to owner, he can emit the event of change owner, and it will change the owner from his address to the new address which is assigned to him. So this particular line will be executed. Now it has one more function which enable the fees amount. So if tick spacing is allowed, then it will take some fees. So here we have fees and here we have tick spacing, and it is also a override function. First it will it is like callable by the owner only, so it will first check, it will take as whether the message dot sender is a owner or not. If he is owner, then it will move forward, then the fee should be equal to this particular amount, sorry, lesser than this particular amount. If it is greater, then this function cannot be executed. So this check is there. Then we have one more check which says that tick spacing should be greater than 0 and less than this particular number. So this is called as capped value. So it will prevent a situation where the tick spacing is so large, so it will reduce that. Then one more check is there which says that tick spacing of the fees should be equal to 0. So once it is there, then we can execute this particular uh, function, and the function will be called like with this particular line, and it will emit the event which is associated with it. So this contract is a demo which will show you that how we can set up a pool between two tokens, and those tokens will be setted to ensure that they have different value. Once they have different value, then we will set the new value to it. So this is it about this particular contract. In the next video, we'll show you how, like after deploying this particular contract, we'll see that how the functions associated with it can be called from the external call. So yeah, it's for this video. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.